This is to, first of all, we have to make clear whether this Zahir and Batin is something created by us, or this is a reality or something given by Almighty Allah and given by the knowledge of Islam based on Quran and Sunnah. So you say every harf, every letter possesses one Zahir meaning and one Batin. Holy Prophet ﷺ granted Sayyidina Ali that much comprehensive knowledge. Sayyidina Ali was blessed with this kind of total knowledge, a comprehensive knowledge, that he is aware of every Zahir and every Batin of the knowledge. Every Zahir meaning of the verse and every Batin meaning of the verse. Every external meaning and implication of the verse and every internal implication of the verse, Zahir and Batin, is clearly known to Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is his status in knowledge. So, in fact, he is giving the message that he is given so much knowledge in totality, a comprehensive knowledge which comprehends the Zahirs and Batins. So, the basic thing which I was explaining is the existence of Zahir and Batin in each and every reality. And every human being's personality, our personality, also possesses a Zahir and Batin. Our body is Zahir and our mind and soul is Batin. Then even every qalb, every heart possesses one Zahir and one Batin. The heart in the form of this, you can say, this flesh, in the form of an organ of body, is Zahir. And there is a Batin of heart, the heart in heart. When there is a heart in heart, and it has in all spiritual angles. Then there is soul, the place of its place is in the heart. Then there is sir, then there is batin, then there is sir, secret, and then there is sir of sir, secret of secret. So I have given many examples, and there are many others too, just to establish the fact that every reality possesses a Zahir and Batin. Even your khalq is Zahir and your khulq is Batin. Your bodily creation is Zahir and your morality, ethical values which you carry on, and spiritual and ethical values which you possess, which you practice, these are your Batin. So the ulama says khalq, physical body, is Zahir and khulq is Batin. And Holy Prophet ﷺ is unprecedented and unparalleled in both, in khalq and in khulq. So, Quran says that I will complete the Zahir as personality of Prophet Adam with salsalim min hamaim masnoon, with this dust and clay and this mud and all these things, which have been mentioned as the essential ingredients of physical constitution, of Bashariyah. فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ, when I complete it, I will make it balanced. وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, then I will breathe into him my nur, my soul, my spirit. This breathing into Adam, that was breathing in his batin, breathing in his heart, breathing in his soul, breathing in his inner self of personality, in his inner hood. He breathed. What thing was breathed? Min ruhi. He said, I will breathe into him my own soul. So Almighty Allah is beyond of souls. When he says my soul, so he is just linking up something with him to confer the grace, the respect, the honor, the esteem to him, on him, to gratify him, to glorify him, to make his great position obvious, and blessing him with his spiritual blessings and mercy. فَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, I will breathe into him my soul, and ruhi, this is nur. This is not Bashariyah. When he says ruhi, قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي, this is nur, pure nur. Nur is not a material thing. Whatever may be the meaning, whatever may be the significance, Whatever may be the interpretation, whatever may be the implication of ruh, any meaning, any interpretation you can take, but in all meanings you have to be very clear that it may be anything except Bashariya. It is not a material thing. It is nur. It is a nur. It may be in any form, whether in the form of the obvious light, whether in the form of nur. Nur is a nur. Angels are nur. Anything which comes from Alamul Amr, Alamul Arwah, Alam Fawqat Tabi'iyat, the world which is metaphysical, beyond the physical boundaries of the universe, that is nur. And ruh comes from that world. Kulir ruh min amri rabbi. That is not from Alamul Khalq, this physical creation world of physical creation. No, this is from the spiritual world of the spiritual creation. The lights, the alam, the world where the lights originate from. So ruh is a nur. So he wants to say that I will complete first of all his Bashariya, then I will put Nuraniya in his batin. So he will become a combination of Bashariya and Nuraniya. He will become a mixture and combination of Bashar and Nur. He will become a beautiful combination of external Bashariya composition and internal Nuraniya composition. When he says, وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, I will put my nur, I will lit my nur in him. And that's why, like Quran says, Allah nur samawati wal ard, مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ الْمِصْبَاحُ فِي زُجَاجَةٍ الزُّجَاجَةُ كَأَنَّهَا كَوْكَبٌ دُرِّيٌّ يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية. He says Allah is the nur, the munawwir. He illuminates the whole universe of heavens and earth. An example of his nur is like the mishkat, where the lamp is placed. A candle is burning in that lamp, nur is lit in that lamp. And it is shining like a star. And it has been lit by the Shajara Mubaraka, the blessed tree of Zaytun. So this has a connection with the zikr of Anbiya, prophets and the messengers. So all these things, Holy Quran says, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. And the likeness, the example of his light is as in night, in which is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass, and the glass is as it were a brightly shining star, lit from a blessed olive tree, neither eastern nor western. The oil whereof almost gives light, though fire touch it not. Light upon light, nurun ala nur. There is light upon light, light upon light, light upon light. And Allah guides to His light whom He pleases, and Allah sets forth parables for men and His people. This is Surah An-Nur, part 18, verse number 35. 35. So Almighty Allah says, when I will lit my nur into his batin, only then فَقَوْ لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. You will go into prostration. Then you have to prostrate in front of him. Show your respect. So in fact, the commandment was that he was ordering the angels to show their respect to Adam and to pay their attributes and to pay their respect and honor and esteem to Sayyidina Adam and to accept his greatness and highness and his exalted position and bow in front of him as a symbol of respect when I lit my nur in him, and his personality, Zahir and Batin, both are complete. But you know, this was the totality of the personality of Sayyidina Adam. This was the comprehensive structure. But Iblis says, Lam akun li asjuda li bashar. I'm not going to prostrate before a bashar. What does it mean? That he was just interested in looking at the Bashariya aspect, and he was not interested in looking at the Nuraniya aspect. فَإِذَا نَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, he was neglecting the aspect of نَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, where the nur is lit. And he was just concentrating on the aspect of خَالِكُمْ بَشَرًا مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ. So there were two things, and Almighty Allah had combined the both in the personality of Prophet. And according to our position in our personality, as we deserve, and as Prophet deserve according to their position. From case to case, from level to level, from stage to stage, from grade to grade. So he was interested just to look at Bashariya, and he was uttering, I can't prostrate in front of a Bashar. I can't prostrate in front of a Bashar. How could I bear prostration in front of a Bashar? He knew that only the Bashariya is not the only thing. This is just the external chapter. And there is some internal reality under the cover of Bashariya, under the dress of Bashariya, under the external structure of Bashariya. There is an internal reality, and that reality is Ruh and Nur. That is Ruhaniya, and Ruhaniya is Nuraniya. Like zikr of Almighty Allah is Nur, Iman is Nur, Quran, Allah's Kalam is Nur, Hidayah, the guidance is Nur. All those things which do not possess the physical being, they are Nur. Like Iman, and like Allah's zikr, and like hub, muhabbah, love of Almighty Allah, and like His blessings and rahmah, and like His nearness, and like the Quran, and like the guidance, Al-Hidayah. So, knowing that there is a nur in the batin, which Almighty Allah has lit in the form of His Spirit, breathing of His Spirit. And there is a cover, an outer dress of Bashariya in the form of physical structure. So he was just stuck up in vision of Bashariya, and he had closed his eyes to see into Nuraniya, into the internal. So because he was stuck up in just Bashariya, and he was not ready to see through Nuraniya and Ruhaniya in the internal aspect, so he became Gustakh, because this vision made him Gustakh. When he got stuck up in just vision of Bashariya, then he started thinking in the terms of comparison. My physical being has been made by this and that, and his physical being has been made by this and that. So he started comparing, because he got stuck up in just the vision of Bashariya. Same thing was in the knowledge of angels. When Almighty Allah told that I am going to create a Bashar from this and this, these and these things, and then I am going to lit my nur in the form of breathing of spirit in him. Same Quran divine declaration was in front of angels, but they were guided. They did not got stuck up in vision of Bashariya. They had an idea, a question in their mind. Just once a question came in their mind, and they expressed it in front of Almighty Allah to get His divine guidance. What was their question? Knowing that this is a Bashariya creation. So they asked, are you making a man your representative and your vicegerent on the earth, your Khalifa, Khalif on the earth, who has been made out of this physical, these elements, Bashariya creation and constitution, and because of this, he would be having a personality, the man would be having a personality of this kind, that he will fight and he will shed the blood and he will do this and that, and he will quarrel and he will fight and he will kill the people. These kind of sinful acts would be conducted on his hands. So this was their estimation and assessment. Why? When they looked at the Bashariya creation of the personality. So automatically this would be the outcome. These characteristics would definitely emerge out of that Bashariya personality. Thus this question came to their mind. They expressed it before Almighty Allah to get guidance, and they were guided by saying that this is not only the thing. He has been blessed with that kind of total knowledge, the superiority of knowledge, which gives him much higher place, and which improves these characteristics and converts these characteristics into right from shar to khair. So they understood the thing and they got the guidance of Almighty Allah. So they never had any courage to compare themselves with. In beginning, they started comparing. وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ. And we always are busy in your praise and your worship. So this was you can say a little bit, a kind of comparison which initially, before getting special divine guidance from Almighty Allah, they had in their mind. But they placed it in front of Almighty Allah to be blessed with His divine guidance. So He guided them and everything was removed. Then when they saw His superiority of knowledge, He asked, if you are correct in saying, then tell the name. They said, Qalu subhanaka la ilma lana. They raised up their hand. They said, no. We bent and we prostrate in front of Him. They repented. So there was no comparison on their part. They didn't compare themselves with Adam. They went back. They corrected themselves. They guided their view. Whereas the Iblis remained stuck up in the vision of Bashariya, and he did not try to go into the vision of Nuraniya and Ruhaniya. So if a man's vision, assessment of a prophet, now the final words, if our assessment about a prophet, if our vision about the prophet's personality, if our understanding about prophet's person is just stuck up to the extent of his Bashariya, and we just got stuck up in his Bashariya, in his physical personality, in his being human being, in his being physical creation, in his being man, a man, if we got stuck up in the same way as Iblis got stuck up in his Bashariya, if we do the same, then there is a clear chance of becoming Gustagh, a clear chance of committing disrespect to Prophet. There is a clear chance to commit dishonor to Prophet, disgraceful attitude to Prophet, to conduct and to perform any kind of blasphemy to holy prophets. The only way to get rid of the chance of Gustaghi, to get rid of the chance of dishonor and disgrace and disrespect to Prophet, is that instead of getting stuck up into the vision of Bashariya, we should pass through the knowledge of Bashariya up to the knowledge of Nuraniya and Ruhaniya. We should look into the actual, real, spiritual, internal position of Prophet. And this is the place, this batin is the place which is really blessed by Almighty Allah's Nur, which is being lit by Almighty Allah's Nur, which is being blessed by Allah's mercies, which is being blessed by Allah's divine qualities, and all divine blessings and divine mercies and divine qualities and divine lives and divine properties which He wants to reveal. They are not being revealed on the apparent personality. They are being revealed on the heart. They are being revealed on the soul. They are being revealed on the batin. They are being revealed on the ruhaniyah. So the main thing, the blessed thing, the esteemed thing, the exalted thing, which has been given the great honor and great highness, that is not the external aspect, that is really the internal aspect. So in order to judge the real position of a prophet, to assess the real status of the prophet, in order to really understand the real position of the prophet, it is necessary and mandatory on us to just not get stuck up in the bashariyah and just always talking about he is bashar and he is a man and he is a human being. No denial of this fact. There is no denial of this fact. All prophets are human beings. But the question is that just accepting and repeating, this is the difference between the two. Accepting a reality and always talking about a reality, repeating it again and again, debating it, making it the point of speech and discussion always, and always being stuck up in that discussion. This is the difference between the two. The mu'min is one who accepts that they were human beings, the best of human beings. That's it. And then when we talks about him, he don't looks into their physical creation and being. He looks into the internal being, which is the real place of Allah's blessings, where Quran and divine revelation reveals on, where the angels reveal on, the angel Jibreel reveals on. So that's why this punishment awarded to Iblis was not on the act of disobedience only. This was in fact on the act of disrespect to Prophet. When he explained the reasons of his denial and reason of his non-compliance, that this was the reason why I did not prostrate, that he is a bashar and I think myself better than him, this comparison, then only then Almighty Allah said, فَخْرُجْ مِنْهَا فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. Go away, get down. Then he was punished. So the sixth point was that actual punishment under this act of blasphemy. The first act revealed on the earth by Almighty Allah was the act of blasphemy, law of blasphemy, law of protection of the status of Prophet, law of exalted and esteemed position of the Prophet and protection of that position and showing respect and honor to that position. This was the first act, first law, divine law, and first divine revelation revealed ever. So the first punishment awarded was not just on the act of disobedience, it was the act of disrespect to the Prophet, because then he was kicked out of the nearness of Almighty Allah. So that's why we say that in order to understand the real teachings of Islam and Quran and Sunnah and Sharia, we have to begin from the clarity of our minds on the subject of the status of prophethood. This is the basic point of commencement where everything starts from. The ilm of Tawheed emerges from prophethood. Knowledge of Quran, knowledge of Sharia, knowledge of Iman, the knowledge of cognitions of Almighty Allah, our connection to Almighty Allah, each and everything, every particle and every article of our faith emerges from this position, from the Prophet, from the Messenger, because he is the sole representative of Almighty Allah. Whatever Almighty Allah wants to be carried on, wants to be conveyed, wants to be communicated, and wants to be followed, and wants to be obeyed, everything that is connected with the person of Prophet. So first of all, we should be very, very clear on the position, this position, that what is the esteemed status of Prophet, so that we may get rid of all kinds of doubts and chances of committing any kind of act of disrespect as Shaitan committed, or act of blasphemy. Only then we would be in a position to visualize or perceive or conceive the real concepts of Islamic teachings. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ.